E-bikes are great, but they'll probably kill you. E-bikes aren't new. Well, I mean, they're kinda new, but it's basically like a regular bike. It looks like a bike, but now it has batteries to save the environment. That's why they're marketed to people that live in large cities. E-bikes are the dumbest idea ever. They're dangerous, expensive, environmentally disastrous. They'll make you lazy, and they, in reality, might kill you. Plus everyone in your house, or everyone in your entire apartment building. You're going to love this one, so let's get right into it. Bikes. Regular bicycles were invented hundreds of years ago. The most common consensus was that they were invented around 1860. Since then, they've had several upgrades: better tires, better brakes, multiple gears to make it easier to pedal, softer seats. Some even have cute little horns on them. They were great. It was a fantastic way to get from point A to point B. Sure, it took a little leg muscle, but it was way better than walking and way cheaper than a horse. You don't have to feed it, and maintenance is really simple and cheap. Bikes were great. They were the pinnacle of human-powered transportation. But the global warming saved the planet green energy morons decided to make them better. So they added a large battery, and it ruined the concept of a bicycle forever. But to be completely fair, they do have a few good reasons why you might want to buy one. By adding a battery, the bike can now power itself. You can travel an average of 20 to 50 miles on battery power, or light pedaling under normal conditions. It's faster than most normal bike riders. They're cheaper than cars in cities, and you never have to worry about finding parking. They're even faster than cars in heavy city traffic. Think like Manhattan or downtown Chicago. They're better for older people who've lost muscle strength but still want to get out and enjoy the fresh air. You don't have to buy gas, and you're saving the planet. Now, these are good things, and they definitely solve a few problems for many people. The people selling them can certainly make a case why you need one. However, by adding a battery to a bike, it did several things that take away all of the good things that bikes provide. It increased the weight. Some e-bikes can now weigh up to 80 pounds. That's almost too heavy for a girl or a small person to carry when the battery goes dead. It's also too heavy to carry up 2 flights of your New York City walk-up apartment. And it's expensive. The average price for an e-bike can range from $1,000 to over $8,000. You can buy a regular bike for about $150 from Walmart or Target any day of the week. Even less if you want to buy used on Craigslist or from a pawn shop. And spontaneity is gone. You need to pre-plan to ride your e-bike. Charging can take 4 to 6 hours. You need to make sure you block off half your day to make sure your bike is ready to ride for tomorrow. And don't forget to buy the extras. You're probably going to want to buy insurance because these get stolen pretty often. Just imagine spending $5,000 on your new e-bike and you run into Whole Foods to grab a cold kombucha, and when you come out, it's just gone. Or you spend a few $100 on some good locks or maybe a GPS tracker. It's more costs either way. Registration. Yep, some cities classify these e-bikes as a Class 2 or a Class 3 vehicle, so you need to register them. You have to pay extra taxes. You have to deal with a DMV or a local tax office just to own one. And maintenance. You cannot repair a battery pack when it gets damaged. You can replace it, but repair is just not an option. And batteries are funny things. You can recharge them over and over, but they lose a little capacity every time. The average battery can be recharged about 800 times, if you're lucky. But the range is decreased a little bit every time. And the same with the cold. Now, riding your e-bike in the winter is unpleasant. But if it's your only option, the batteries are almost useless in the winter. Range can be reduced by 50% when the temperature drops. Environmentally friendly? Not even close when compared to a regular bike. The batteries are derived from exotic minerals like lithium, cadmium, cobalt, and even gold, which need to be dug out of the ground in faraway countries. Then they're processed and shipped here and turned into batteries. None of those steps are environmentally friendly. Plus, they're extremely difficult, expensive, or impossible to recycle. These batteries include lithium, and we're going to talk about lithium again in just a minute. Now, a regular bike, by comparison, is cheap, easy to repair, lightweight, environmentally super friendly, 100% recyclable, it's great exercise, and it's just better. But the real reason that e-bikes are the worst is that they will probably kill you. The story that's not getting nearly enough attention is that these batteries have a bad habit of catching fire and exploding. These batteries are extremely dangerous. Did you know that over 200 e-bike fires were reported in just New York City in 2022? Now that there are more e-bikes, there will be more fires. E-bike batteries are made using lithium, like we talked about before. Have you ever seen what happens to lithium when the batteries get damaged, then they get wet? This is a standard Energizer lithium battery. Now, there's a little bit of lithium inside, and if you cut it, and well, first of all, don't cut it, don't open it, don't do any of this. This is for like a science experiment. Don't do this. Let's get that out of the way. But if you cut it open and you look at the insides, you'll find a thin foil layer of lithium. Okay. Now, this is perfectly safe at room temperature and if it's dry. But if it gets wet, if the battery gets damaged and water gets in it, this happens. And that's what makes these batteries so dangerous. Now, this can happen from damage or cheap batteries or fake Chinese knockoff batteries that were not inspected for safety. This happens way more frequently than you would think. Now, this battery caught fire on a plane. You're trapped in a tube several miles above the ground, and battery fires are really hard to put out. It's scary stuff. Imagine this happens in your neighbor's apartment in the middle of the night. Now, charging your e-bike is when you have the highest risk. It can catch fire if it's overcharged. It can catch fire if it's undercharged. It can catch fire if you use the wrong charger. It can catch fire if it gets too hot or if it gets too wet. So if you happen to see it on fire, most people will throw water, which ironically makes it so much worse. The manufacturers and the retail shops trying to sell these e-bikes, they have many helpful hints to make them safer. 1. Maintain the battery. They recommend checking the temperature of the battery pack while charging and while using it to make sure it doesn't get too hot. How hot is too hot? I don't know, but it doesn't sound like a great idea to go for a ride and reach down and touch the battery every 30 seconds to make sure it doesn't blow up. 2. Ensure your battery is certified. Wait, now you have to investigate the manufacturer to see if they're legit or not? How would you even do that? I can't verify the organic sticker on fruit. And now I have to become an expert in battery manufacturing technology in a foreign country? Yeah, okay. 3. Use the charger designed for your specific e-bike. Okay, that's reasonable. But chargers break, and they need to be replaced. As everyone knows, they also become obsolete. Okay, who's gone into your local phone store asking for a new charger? And you go, I have the E5000 model. But the sales clerk says, oh, sorry, we don't sell that anymore. We only sell the E7000 model. you need to buy a new bike and get a new charger. Everyone knows this type of stuff happens. 4. Avoid charging the battery inside your home. I had to read this twice. They are directly marketing them to city dwellers in overpopulated cities. Do they expect you to leave them chained up in the street and run an extension cord out the window? 5. Avoid unattended or overnight charging. So let me get this right. You can't bring it into your house and you have to watch it charge? Does this still seem like it's saving you time? But because charging your e-bike can take 4 to 6 hours, it is completely unrealistic to think that people will sit and watch the bike during the entire charging process. Most, if not all people, will walk away and do something else. Make dinner, do laundry, go to sleep. And that's the problem. Once these fires start, they burn fast, and they burn hot. As these are advertised to urban apartment dwellers in giant cities, the population density is pretty high. When one of these e-bikes decides to go up in flames, it can easily take out an entire apartment building just like that, just a few minutes. Fire travels so fast, and it doesn't matter if it's on the ground floor or the top floor. This building becomes a death trap in just moments. All these helpful tips came from an actual article. I'm going to link it below so you can read it. It goes into a little more detail, but you get the idea. And of course, that brings us full circle back to the environmental aspect. One apartment building on fire will release more black smoke, toxic smoke, and greenhouse gas than could ever be recovered by having a few e-bikes. E-bikes suck. They will never be a benefit to the environment. They're a fun new shiny toy that can be marketed to extremely stupid people who think they're helping. Now, if you want an e-bike because they're fun, and you can ride uphill for 20 miles and not get tired, but you understand they're dangerous and horrible for the environment, that's cool with me. Go buy one. Have fun. It's your choice. I've got a V8 SUV that gets 18 miles per gallon on a good day, so I can't complain. But I'm not a hypocrite either. If you live in a tall apartment building and you see your neighbors charging their e-bikes, pay attention. The risk of an early death just went up by 20%. I know I'm way early on this prediction, but I want to get it on record saying the global saviors telling everyone that going electric will solve all problems. This is going to be the biggest scam of all time. It's expensive, dangerous, and most of all, it's all still really powered by fossil fuels anyway. Bookmark this, save it, tweet it out, remember it any way you choose. It's going to look like common knowledge in about 10 years, even though it's a conspiracy theory now. So do the like and subscribe thing. I got another video coming later, so I'll see you soon.